Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation about selling paperless solutions from RJS Software Systems. My name is Don Grease. I am the Manager of Sales and Business Development here at Lifeboat Distribution, and I am sure you will be pleased with today's presentation. RJS Software helps customers capture, manage, distribute, and secure paper-based information, and you're going to learn how important that is in just a moment. But Lifeboat Distribution is really pleased to be part of today's presentation and to bring you, our valued customers, this opportunity briefing. We are also excited to let you know that RJS Software Systems is the premier sponsor of this year's Lifeboat Cross-Channel Connection in Atlantic City come this October. So as soon as this presentation is over, I recommend that you get yourself registered for our event so you can meet the great people from RJS in person. All right, I know your time is valuable, so let me get right to the introduction for our main panelist, and that is Kathy Allen, Business Development Manager from RJS Software Systems. Thank you for being here with us today, Kathy, and welcome. And last thing, just before I turn the presentation over to Kathy, I want everyone to know that we do encourage you to ask questions, and the way you can do that is just by simply entering your question in the Q&A panel on the right-hand side of the screen. At the conclusion of the presentation, we will answer as many questions as time permits. And so with that, let me just jump this over to Kathy. And it's all yours, Kathy. You can take it away.
All right, and thanks very much, Don, for that introduction, and thank you all for spending a few minutes with us this afternoon. I hope the information you get is valuable and will help you in your business models generate some new revenue. Our agenda for this afternoon is relatively brief, but what we really want to do is get your wheels turning on how RJS and our solutions can be impactful to your customers and impactful to their bottom line as well as yours. We're going to talk a little bit about who RJS is. Then we're going to go to some industry trends about what we do, helping organizations go paperless based on our experience and based on research done by Gartner Group and various other groups. We're going to talk about why would you want to choose us as a solution provider, and then we'll talk specifically about the solutions and then end up with how you can get in touch with us if you'd like to. RJS Software Systems was established in 1990. We released our first software solution in 1993. Until then, we had been a software consulting firm. But what we quickly found was in the marketplace, specifically regarding document management, there were still several holes out there. There were certainly solutions on the market, but there were many, many holes in those solutions. And so we released our first solution. We haven't looked back since and have found great success in helping people automate their processes. We've always focused our software development efforts on helping people get information on demand to access their business information. Every solution that we developed has helped our customers automate processes, eliminating the need to create and shuffle paper. We've always been forward-facing with our development, which is one of the things that we'll talk about. All our solutions are web-based solutions, so they fit very nicely into a service-oriented architecture, which your customers may indeed be looking for. But the most important thing is that while we're forward-facing with our development, we've always focused on the needs of the customers and end users today, facilitating their business processes. We look at this and have coined the term document management life cycle. In terms of going paperless, we've put this into pillars of capturing, managing, distributing, and securing information. All these can act interactively and seamlessly or can be used independently of each other as well. We look at this from a capture perspective of electronically capturing information from people's business applications, from information they receive from outside of their companies, potentially emails, faxes, paper that's being mailed in. We can expedite the delivery of that information and manage it within our WebDoc solution, which is our repository that gives customers immediate access to their information so that they can make decisions quickly, not have to worry about collecting the information. They can access it at their fingertips. The three solutions we're going to focus on today are Sign Here, which is a digital signature capture solution, Web Forms, which is a fillable form solution, and WebDocs, which is the engine that it can all be stored in, accessed, and managed and routed. But first, let's talk a little bit about why organizations are going paperless. The reality is that paper is costly and inefficient in most cases. People spend far too much time generating paper to the tune of about 768 million trees a year, copying paper sometimes 9 to 11 times, plus putting out in various locations on their networks, and oftentimes shuffling paper where it can potentially get lost and have the need to be redistributed or even recreated. All of these costs are impacting your customers' bottom lines and their efficiency on how they do business. And you can see it can be very costly to recreate or redistribute a file that's something that's been misfiled, $20 each time. And when we talk about disaster recovery, which we will in a minute, the biggest disaster within organizations are the people themselves losing information. So while something catastrophic could potentially happen, we have to deal with the everyday injustice of losing the information ourselves. So while many organizations have made a significant investment in redundancy and in disaster recovery type and HA solutions, creating those environments, one of the things that gets left out often is the paper. Well, what about that paper? It's necessary to make sure your computers are up and running in the event of an emergency, but what about the orders and the contracts and the correspondence and the employee records, things that could have potentially been destroyed? That's the information that really makes a company tick. There's also issues like compliancy, which many of you probably deal with on a day-to-day basis. Capturing information and managing it electronically, companies now have an audit trail behind their information, which is critical for publicly held companies. You know, thanks to companies like Enron and WorldCom and other really billion-dollar scandals, the SEC stepped in and started implementing rules and regulations that we know as Sarbanes-Oxley or for short SOX. And SOX requires organizations to be able to provide an accurate record or audit trail, a portion of SOX, to their critical business information, more specifically financial reporting. We track this easily within our software. So from an audit perspective, they can provide proof to their auditors, which means they are taking the necessary steps, and they really can't be fined if they're putting the necessary steps in place. And again, we're just addressing a portion of the SOX when we talk about that. But should an organization not be putting those steps in place, there can be lofty fines assessed, which make the ROI on this instant if they can avoid those. Not just publicly held companies have these types of issues. There's the same types of compliances for healthcare, education, and government sectors. All these organizations have regulations that they're governed by. The simple fact is all these organizations need to protect their information and protect themselves. Privately held information to simply benefit from all the controls put in software packages like this. Beyond those scary issues like disasters and compliances, really the benefit is to bring automated business processes into play, which could be as simple as one-step distribution of information or complex automation with business logic built up behind it, providing very strong ROI in terms of productivity and increases and reduced cost in paper, which is a very hard cost. In short, the RJS solutions help keep your customers competitive in their markets, providing them with short-term and long-term ROI. And if we go back to the 768 million trees, you know, it's just plain old good for the environment. So why would you choose RJS over potentially somebody else? As I mentioned earlier, we have this whole document lifecycle that we've coined the document management lifecycle, and within that lifecycle there are pillars of of solutions to help each step of the way. RJS is one-stop shopping in that process. While our competitors have to piecemeal a solution together and rely on partners to bring different things to the party, RJS doesn't. We have control over all the solutions in the life cycle. We've developed them to integrate and to work seamlessly together, or again, as individual products, which allows your customers to take on what they can in smaller chunks or build a front-to-back solution with one vendor straight out of the gates. Organizations everywhere have real needs for these solutions. They're not kind of pie in the sky when it'd be nice to have. These solutions are here today and relevant in their environments to help them do more with less, to stay competitive and to be able to increase the productivity within their organizations. We all know that most of the organizations out there are running pretty lean right now. They've scaled down to where they need to be able to run, but now they're looking for ways to increase efficiency. How can I do more with less? This is what we offer them. We offer them the ability to increase that productivity within a single office, distributed locations, or even accessing information from around the world. It's a perk for you guys because software comes with a great margin, which is good for your customers. You can provide them a sound solution that gives them ROI, and you can make a little bit of money while you're doing it, well, hopefully a lot of money while you're doing it as you go along. We are a channel-focused organization, so we protect your opportunities. We hope we can help you build a consistent revenue stream and bring you reoccurring business in the process. Our solutions are very scalable. We're just throwing out some names here of people that use our software, from very small organizations to very large organizations. All these organizations create paper, have the need to increase productivity, make their processes more automated and more efficient. Accounts payable in itself could be considered its own vertical, but it usually is a starting place for most organizations. Most organizations also have many platforms within their infrastructure, so we address a couple different platforms that integrate quite nicely across each other. Verticals that just kind of naturally fit these markets are manufacturing and distribution, transportation. They have huge paper trails that they have to follow and maintain. Healthcare, hospitality, government, again, those are all just natural fits into organizations that are using these types of solutions today, looking at these types of solutions today, or minimally just talking about these types of solutions. So now we're going to jump over to talking about the solutions themselves. I'm going to play you a short 2-minute video. These videos that we'll be viewing just a couple times throughout this presentation are great marketing tools. They are available to you, and it really gives a high-level overview and a professional presentation out to your customers to see if this is indeed what they're looking for and a little bit of how it works. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll come back on after 2 minutes here. Thanks and enjoy.
Getting signatures on documents used to mean manually printing and routing paper, not to mention storing and keeping track of it all. Workflows came to a halt as paper documents sat on someone's desk waiting to be signed. That meant long delays in getting approvals or authorizations. Not anymore. With Sign Here, you can save time and money by electronically capturing signatures and applying them to digital versions of contracts, shipping documents, and other business forms and reports generated from any source. Documents can be signed using a signature capture, tablet, or mobile device, or you can use existing digital signatures that can only be accessed and embedded using a secure PIN code or user ID. Signatures can be applied to multiple pages at once, and you can add annotations, notes, and timestamps to each signed document. And because they're digital, it's quicker and easier to route signed documents through business processes for review and approval, and electronically store them in web docs, SharePoint, or other ECM systems. From distribution and manufacturing to healthcare and beyond, Sign Here works with any kind of document in any kind of approval process. And because digital signatures are accepted worldwide, you can rest assured that all of your documents and transactions are legally binding. Not only will you save money on printing and paper, but you'll speed up decision-making, improve productivity, and enhance relations with customers, vendors, and partners. Sign here. Problem solved.
Okay, so great little video, great marketing tool that, again, is available to you. Let's talk a little bit about Sign Here, and we just kind of saw what it is. It's software that allows you to capture and apply signatures. There's multiple methods of doing that with devices, with automated PIN capture using a user ID and authorization code to assign a signature, and that's typically used within the routing, internal routing. Devices like Topaz and Ingenico are typically used outside in more customer-focused areas. Some samples of documents that we see signed on a regular basis, and incidentally, this is one of our solutions that probably gets the most activity right now in terms of lead gen. It leads into other solutions like storing the documents once they're signed, which is instrumental for reproducing those documents, but this really is hot out there in the marketplace, and specifically because people want these types of documents signed. Shipping and receiving, HR-type applications, healthcare forms, contracts. You know, you can sign documents that are PDFs, TIFFs produced in Microsoft Office applications. We really don't care what type of document it is. Once we assign a signature to it, we can burn that signature in and store it as a PDF so it's not editable anymore, but we can take the input from just about any type of application. Some uses for the solution as examples, and really the sky's the limit, is signing for pickups at dock doors or counter locations for distributors, for deliveries in the manufacturing environment or distribution environment. We are using signature capture in the clinical environment with people signing off on their medical record release forms and those types of things. In hospitality, we're seeing signature capture on registration cards, also on credit applications for casino environments. Once you have these documents and they're signed, they can really be stored anywhere. They can be stored in WebDocs, which is our back-end solution, or they can be stored in any document management solution, as well as in SharePoint, or even just simply out to a network directory. The benefits to the organization really are that electronic signatures are considered legal in most states, almost all states now. I think one of the only places that they aren't legal is on documentation that may have raised seals or some type of instance like that where you need the physical piece of paper. Clearly reduces paper shuffle. If we go back and take that manufacturing or distribution environment, when a driver comes in today, many times there are often three-part sheets of paper, your white, your yellow, and your pink copy, and oftentimes they've been printed on a high-impact printer, which is very expensive. Now when they come in, they can sign, they can look at their bill of lading electronically, they can sign off on it. You print one copy to send with the driver. The other two copies don't even get printed anymore. The high-impact printer is gone. It can be replaced with a laser printer, and it can be stored much less expensively and accessed on demand versus having to go back to a filing cabinet. We also pride ourselves very much on integrating with business applications. We are very, very strong in many, many applications. We haven't really come across an application that we haven't been able to implement yet. And that at a high level is Sign Here. We're going to move on to web forms. Again, we're going to enjoy just a short overview of how it works. And I would tell you that web forms, while Sign Here is really capturing a lot of activity from lead gen, web forms is probably one of our most powerful solutions that we're offering today. So again, we'll play the video, enjoy, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Tired of waiting for paper forms to be filled out and returned? What about those stacks of paper forms that all need to be manually entered into the system? That's the old, inefficient way of doing business. Web Forms is the new way. Web Forms allows you to create electronic versions of work and product orders, timesheets, expense reports, and enrollment forms, and web-enable them so they're easy to access and fill out from any computer or mobile device. Form fields, lists, and menus can be pre-populated and validated from any database, or auto-populated using existing data like employee or customer information. Business logic and form rules can also be used to make sure forms are filled out correctly. And because Web Forms is browser-based, you can quickly deploy new forms as soon as they're designed. Web Forms also improves customer service and form completion rates by giving users the ability to fill out forms at their convenience. The software also allows you to digitally sign forms, attach supporting documents, and seamlessly route them through business processes, which can speed up workflow. With Web Forms, you can effortlessly capture, route, and pass the collected information to any database, ERP system, or ECM system like WebDocs, so you can quickly access, analyze, and use it at any time, anywhere. Because Web Forms automates data collection and electronically routes and saves forms, you save money on redundant data entry, paper-related distribution and storage costs, and improve customer service. Get rid of paper and speed up data collection with Web Forms. Problem solved.
Okay. And true to form, we will move on and talk a little bit again about what it is and how it's used. One of the reasons I mentioned that Web Forms is one of the most powerful tools that we have is there are a lot of solutions out there today that can capture information in a fillable form. Adobe happens to be one of those solutions that many, many people are familiar with. And it's a great solution, and at the end of the day, you can capture your information and you can PDF it and you can save it. We do that as well. However, what we do is we put that process on steroids, and not only now can you fill that out and save it if you'd like, you can also take the data that's collected in those forms and push it out into other systems. Additionally, you can pull information in from other business applications to pre-populate a form. So as an example, if in a human resource onboarding packet, there can be anywhere from 5 to 40 to, many more forms that a new employee may need to fill out. If you can take the name that they would normally have to write on every single one of those forms and type it in once in a wizard type format and pre-populate all those 40 forms that they need to address, that is a huge time savings. Additionally, now that information can be taken and ported into a back-end solution. So instead of the HR resource taking that paper and now going in and typing all that information, it is all pre-populated, making it far more accurate and speeds up the process exponentially in processing those types of forms. Additionally, it could kick off other workflow processes like potentially a laptop requisition or a new workstation or office being set up. That's just an example of how that solution can be used. We have used it in generating insurance quotes and claims, in filling out other types of applications like credit applications, in collecting order information, internally for PO requests and engineering change forms. Really virtually any form that you can think of that requires information gathering, Web Forms can gather it. We can process it and export it out to other applications. We can import information in from other applications as well, and we can also attach things to it. Very quick example of being able to attach things to it. We worked with a shooting range, and this shooting range had a liability waiver that you had to fill out, and then along with that they had to take a copy of your driver's license. So historically what they would do is give you a paper liability form, you'd fill it all out, they would scan or make a copy of your driver's license, they would staple that puppy together and they'd throw it in a box, and then later they would go file it. And if you came back, They could either go find it for you, which they typically never did because it was so impossible to find, or you could fill out a new form. Well, with web forms, they could very quickly go back in, find the form that you'd already filled out, have you verify that the information on your driver's license or your driver's license was still valid, and then you could just re-sign the form electronically. And that saved them tons of time from finding information and reproducing the same piece of documentation over and over. They could have, the same customer come back and fill out many waiver forms, over and over and over again. So you can do conditional logic in it, and you can attach things, and then you can store that and route it if you'd like to do that. Virtually any form. I just talked a lot about the benefits of that. When data is captured and the form is captured, it can be saved again in web docs or another content management solution. It's stored typically in an XML format. However, we can PDF that document as well. We can route that into workflow routes. So if you had some type of requisition process that required more than one person to fill it out, one person could fill out their section, it gets routed to the next person, they can fill out their section, and so on until that form is completed. And incidentally, you can hide sections from each other as well. There's just tons of logic that can be built into these forms. Again, it can hold attachments, insurance cards, driver's license, other types of maybe a contract or whatever you need to associate. Often in engineering, there will be a quote, but along with that quote, CAD drawings need to be associated to it, so it can be routed that way as well. Web Forms also has its own ability to sign that form digitally, and that is within its own solution walls. It does not require Sign Here. Sign Here certainly has advantages for many other types of signing as well. And again, it can be integrated with many, many business applications. We're going to go through one more solution. Oh, sorry, we'll do benefits quickly. Of course, the benefits start to resonate across the board in terms of saving paper, of course, integrating into business systems. And in this case, we can certainly enhance customer service significantly by providing information more quickly, by automating it and streamlining the business process. All right, last solution we're going to talk about today. And as I mentioned, these three solutions, Sign Here, Web Forms, and Web Docs, are all individual components that can work together or integrated seamlessly or separately. Web Docs is the engine, the repository. It's like a great big electronic filing cabinet, but seriously on steroids in terms of the security that it provides, the audit logging it provides, and the ability to store and connect lots of different types of documents. So last video, and I do hope you're enjoying them and seriously considering them as a marketing tool for yourselves. And then we will talk a little bit about the solution, and we'll talk again about the markets and how you can make a little bit of money selling it, and then we'll conclude. Here is our last video. Thanks much and enjoy.
Overwhelmed by paper? Having problems finding and storing your documents or getting them where they need to go? RJS Software Systems has the solution. When you manage your documents with Web Docs, you get more time to act on information instead of searching for it. And you can dramatically reduce printing, storage, and distribution costs by securely storing all your documents in an electronic filing cabinet. Getting documents into Web Docs is easy. You can import your existing digital content or scan and electronically capture paper documents like invoices, purchase orders, medical records, and contracts, and store them as full text or index key searchable digital files. Once all that information is captured, Web Docs gives you multiple ways of quickly finding what you need. You can search by document type, date, title, and more. Plus, you can add your own custom search criteria. The software can also integrate into your business applications and give you seamless, one-touch access to all the information you need. Documents can be automatically routed through your own workflows using the system's built-in routing engine so colleagues or clients can easily review, modify, and approve them wherever they are. Advanced security features allow you to choose who has access to your information and who doesn't. WebDocs tracks all document activity and creates new versions every time a document is changed, ensuring that your information never gets lost or overwritten. And because WebDocs is browser-based, you can access, use, and share files at any time from anywhere, giving you the freedom and flexibility to get work done no matter where you are. So say goodbye to those filing cabinets full of paper. WebDocs can help you capture, manage, distribute, and secure all of your documents and data, saving your business time and money. WebDocs. Problem solved.
Okay, so you just saw what WebDocs is. It is that big electronic filing cabinet on steroids. Within WebDocs, there is routing capability. The security is very, very granular, and it provides all the auditing pieces that you need: version control, what's happened to a document, who's seen it, what did they do to it, those types of things. But most importantly, it gives you a centralized repository for all your information so that you're not wasting money by making the multiple copies. The information can't get lost. It's stored in a way that is accessible and retrievable. And it also eliminates prying eyes. People can't see information they're not authorized to see. So you can't accidentally leave your payroll report on your desk and somebody accidentally sees who's making what kind of salary within an organization. People can't accidentally see financial reports that they shouldn't see. People can see all the things they need to see to do their job. And WebDocs is again, it's a web-based solution. So you can lock it down to your intranet and keep it very much internal, or you can access it via the internet. Either way, it's just as secure. Security is managed through WebDocs and not necessarily out through other means. So getting into WebDocs to see things is very simple for a user, but not for people who shouldn't be accessing it. WebDocs can store any type of information, whether it's reports generated from business applications or things like invoices, work orders. We integrate with email solutions like Outlook and Lotus. We can store pictures, audio, video, medical type of records and x-rays, MRIs. Really, the sky is the limit on what you can store. Sometimes there needs to be a viewer to see information. For instance, if you are going to store MRI pictures in the solution, you would have to have the required viewer or audio to hear or see the information. But those are very specific circumstances, and certainly the organizations that need those have those. It fits very nicely, again, into all those verticals that we spend a lot of time chasing: manufacturing, distribution, healthcare. It saves significantly on paper. These are the hard costs: paper, printing, and distribution costs. These are dollars that can be very, very strong in ROI. How can I eliminate the paper? Every filing cabinet costs about $25,000 to fill up within an organization, and that's the time, the paper, and then moving those things around. Printing and distribution costs. If you're currying information in between offices or customer locations, if you are FedExing stuff on a regular basis, all those costs can be eliminated, and quite frankly, the information can be accessed infinitely quicker by storing it electronically. It really is, as soon as the information is entered into the solution, it can be accessed. That allows you to make decisions far more quickly. Automating business process and workflow come with a very strong ROI as well, and oftentimes that could mean taking advantages of discounts in an accounting environment where you just couldn't get your invoices processed quickly enough to take advantage of a discount, or likewise, it can help you leverage a stronger discount. Hey, we process payment, within 3 to 5 days now instead of 2 weeks. If we can do that for you, how can we leverage a better discount with your organization? One of the points I want to make in terms of integration, and this is very, very important, is that when we say we integrate with business applications, specifically web docs, we can launch searches directly from the applications people are working in. So if SAP or JDE or Oracle are your applications that you're working in all day long, we actually can put buttons on the screen or create function keys that allow people to do searches directly from their business applications. And if you think about that for 1 minute, the training that goes in behind that is very, very minimal. So from a knowledge worker or end user perspective, if I can be on a screen and I need to go look up an invoice or a piece of correspondence, and I can hit a function key or I can use a mouse click to go find that information without ever leaving and juggling multiple interfaces, that makes my job very, very easy. Additionally, I can take that information that I've just searched on and send it to whoever I need to send it to. And I can send just a link so that people have to be authorized to see it, or I can attach the document, whatever the process requires. But the point being, if we can keep people in their business applications and keep them focused on their daily tasks and what they need to be doing, versus looking for information or having to stand up and go to a fax machine, that is critical in terms of automating processes and making it easy for the knowledge workers who actually have to do these tasks day in and day out. The security within the solution is very, very, very strong. Again, it can be granular down to the document level, or it can be group-oriented and very easy to administer. It can assist with those compliance and regulatory requirements that we were talking about in the beginning. It can help people meet the audit requirements that they have to, should they be audited, that they have to provide information for. Again, the integration, very, very important, and the time and cost of internal and or external audits can be greatly reduced. And those are just some of the benefits. I'm sure your wheels are turning on how this could help your customers on a day-to-day basis. We call this screen vertical markets, but quite frankly, it just kind of talks about all the different places that, these solutions can be helpful. And now we're talking again about all three solutions: Sign Here, Web Docs, and Web Forms. We've given some examples. We are certainly happy to talk about many other examples. Bring us your challenges, bring us your questions, and we're happy to address those and find solutions with you. So from how do we compete and how do you make money selling these, these solutions are web-based. They are forward-facing, and that's what people are looking for. How many times do we say, is there an app for that? Well, if you can access your information from your mobile device, from a remote location, from your home office, that makes your job a whole lot easier. So we try to reach across multiple platforms versus saying, okay, this is only a mainframe type of solution. We don't really want that. We want everybody from multiple applications and multiple platforms to be able to use this. So there really is no limitation within your customer base. Again, we provide that end-to-end solution where you don't have to piece together a solution from multiple vendors. You can come under one umbrella and you can phase the approach in. You can look at it from a more whole perspective where you want something to travel from front to back. We really help you work with your customers in terms of understanding what their processes are and what their organizations can absorb in terms of change. And we hope that these types of solutions can help you get footholds into your customer where, maybe you've sold them something and you don't really need to sell them something for another 5 years. Well, these are solutions you can bring back to them. They may already be using solutions but are just unhappy with them. It gives you something else to offer them in lieu of what they're using, and maybe get them onto a web-based application, or maybe get them into a solution that fits their needs better. And maybe it would open up new opportunities for you, an organization that you haven't been able to get into. By bringing in this type of solution, maybe it gets your foot in the door with these solutions that can then open up other opportunities to you as resellers going forward. And that really concludes what I have to present today. Again, we thank you very much for your time and taking the time out of your afternoon to listen to us, and we're very appreciative to be on the Lifeboat team.
All right, Kathy, thank you so much for that great presentation. And it's really, you know, it's ideal that you have those quick 2-minute videos that our resellers can share with their customers. I think that's going to be really strong in helping everyone go to market with your solution set. So I just want to take a quick peek and see if we have any questions. Actually, there was one concerning ROI, and that is, does RJS provide any type of ROI calculator, or how could one of our resellers get help calculating ROI for their customers for any of these products?
Yep, and that's a great question. We do have a ROI calculator. We also have a service offering where we can do a solution design or teach you how to do a solution design for your customers that actually allows you to gather the information and plug it into that calculator, plus build a roadmap going forward. So we have the calculator. We also offer a consulting service or training on a consulting service that would allow you to go out and do that yourself.
Okay, that's terrific. I don't see any other questions at the moment, but folks, if you think of anything while we're sort of concluding the presentation, feel free to get it in, and we will answer it for you. Right now, I just want to move on to our traditional call to action, and this is where we recommend what we'd like to see you do in order to get more information about RJS software systems, find out more about partnering with them, and working with your Lifeboat rep to bring this product to your customers. So the first thing is we recommend that you hit the RJS Software website at rjssoftware.com. You're going to find there great pages on all of the products, the 3 certainly today that Kathy demonstrated for you and talked about. You will find white papers. You will find on-demand webinars and videos like you saw today. And while you're at it, take a look at the Partner Correct program page, which is also loaded with product training and marketing and sales support materials and more. If you have questions about, working with RJS software systems, contact Kathy. She'd be happy to talk to you more about that. And certainly, we always recommend that you contact your Lifeboat sales rep for help scheduling maybe a deep dive demo, see more of the product set or a particular product that you might be interested in. We'll give you help with any opportunity with your pricing and any pre-sales assistance that you may need. All right, I don't see any additional questions. So what I'm going to say is that I hope you found today's presentation valuable. I can tell you that with RJS, you get a great solution set for your customers. You get great people to work with at RJS, and you get a great partner program. It's a home run, ladies and gentlemen, so please connect with your rep here at Lifeboat and start practicing your touchdown dance, because once you introduce RJS to your customers, your business is going to start piling up the wins. There are so many paper-intensive businesses out there that need the automation and security that RJS solutions can provide. So whether it's insurance or manufacturing or healthcare or loan applications, these are just a few of the industries that you can penetrate today and find opportunities. So we really encourage you to take a closer look as soon as possible. All right, thank you all very much for attending today. We really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure for Lifeboat Distribution to be a part of today's event, and we hope we will hear from you very soon. So for everybody here at Lifeboat and RJS, Thank you so much and have a great day.